gonna explain nasogastric aspiration. A tube is taken and it is measured from the ear point till the nose point, and it is now in the current scenario. Artificial intelligence will have a very important role in detecting this biochemical markers.
Chinese University of Hong Kong. It conducted research on the Pepsingen first and the Gastric 17 as screening tools for detection of the gastric cancer.
Reports about references reports.
वेलकम बैक फॉर अदर व्लॉग। और आज हमारी एक और मेडिकल कॉन्फ्रेंस है बायोकेमिस्ट्री से रिलेटेड, 100th एनिवर्सरी ऑफ अ डॉक्टर है बायोकेमिस्ट्री, सो उससे रिलेटेड बायोकेमिकल रिसर्च
और हम दोनों प्रेजेंट
करेंगे आज कॉन्फ्रेंस में। सो
साथ में
बी रेडी फॉर दैट एंड अभी हम जाते हैं और अटेंड करते हैं। विषय लगता है गाइस।
A few moments later.
सो ये गाइस अभी हम कॉन्फ्रेंस रूम के अंदर आए हैं और वी आर रेडी। लेट्स सी क्या होता है। We hope for the best. Fingers crossed. Stay tuned, guys.
Классына қайтадан келіп, ол мектепті бітірген. Содан кейін ол ауыл шаруашылық институтына түскен 1951 жылы үздік.
Everyone present here. I am Mansi Lakhani and we are presenting here our topic biochemical markers in gastric juice.
And methods for collecting and analyzing gastric juice to detect biochemical markers.
So let's start this. Here introduction all. First, do you all know what are biochemical markers? Biochemical markers are the substances that present in the digestive fluid in the stomach, and it provides important information about diagnosis of various disorders such as gastric ulcers, inflammation, and cancer. We will discuss later about this. Now, next slide, please. Now, how we collect the biochemical markers in the digestive fluid? There are three major methods of collecting, that is nasogastric aspiration, gastric lavage, and a biopsy. Nasogastric aspiration. It is the first non-invasive method which collects gastric juice by inserting tube into the stomach, into the nose, through the stomach. Now, the second method is gastric lavage. Gastric lavage, it is an invasive method, that's why we can't use it oftenly. It involves the introduction of water into the stomach and it flushes out digestive fluid into the tube. The third is biopsy. We all know biopsy, so I will not elaborate this. In biopsy, a small piece of stomach is taken out and during an endoscopic procedure, and it is sent to laboratory for the further diagnosis. The next slide, please.
Yeah, so here you can see the video in which I'm gonna explain nasogastric aspiration. A tube is taken and it is measured from the ear point till the nose point, and it is measured. Then the tube is inserted from going parallel to the peak of the nose, nostrils to the inside, from the hard palate to the soft palate till the nasopharynx. It will go down. We're gonna push it till the nasopharynx. It reaches slowly and slowly naso, and this is hypopharynx. Then we ask the patient to take some water. If the water is not allowed, we ask the patient to gulp. And when the patient starts gulping, the tube that we have inserted goes inside the esophagus. Then we make the patient lie down, and from the help of a syringe, we get the gastric fluid out that we need for analysis. So this is the proper process of nasogastric aspiration, which is most commonly used. Now, after the most common thing that we do after taking the gastric fluid out, we need to analyze that fluid. So there are basically major three methods for analyzing that fluid. The first one is the ELISA method, and it is most commonly used also for finding AIDS, but it is also used in this method. It is the most common used method for detecting presence of specific biomarkers. What happens in this process is that, we identify a particular biomarker, and an antibody is incubated inside that particular test tube, and then the incubation antibody binds to that biochemical marker, and that is detected with the help of another secondary immunological body. Now, the second method is used as PCR. It's a polymerized chain reaction, as PCR stands for It amplifies the DNA sequence in the sample of the gastric juice, and it helps in detection of the particular biochemical marker that we are using. Then the third is LCMS, which is chromatography mass spectrometry. In this high resolution analytical technique that can be used to identify and quantify various biochemical markers. In this, the biochemical markers are identified and the quantity of the biochemical markers are increased with the help of high resolution techniques and with the help of nanoparticles and artificial intelligence. Now, after analyzing at the current scenario, artificial intelligence play a very important role in detecting these biochemical markers. And for these, currently developing, there are 3 artificial intelligence that are used. The first is nanoparticle-based biosensors. In this, can be used to detect specific biochemical markers in gastric juice by binding to the target biochemical molecule and generating signals to detect them. It is very highly specific and it can detect very low amount of biochemical markers as well. But this is the most developed artificial intelligence right now. Now there is also artificial intelligence based image analysis. In this, we have done several analyses. We have found different patterns of biochemical markers that are used for detecting any diseases such as Helicobacter pylori, ulcers, cancer, everything. So we put that in a system, in a computer system with artificial intelligence. Then what we do, we tell the AI that these are the things we'll see for the biochemical markers, the molecule, the shape of the structure. Then that will analyze that particular samples in large amount and very quickly, which is very efficient for us. And third is machine learning based predictive model. This can be used to develop predictive model that can identify the presence of biochemical marker and specific biochemical marker for which the machine learning has been made, and develop the combination of various parameters such as their demography, where they are present, and the number, the quantity, in which quantity they are present, and that can be further used. Now I have a clinical study. So Mansi, do you know what is gastric cancer?
Yeah, of course I know. Gastric cancer is the 4th most common in the world and it is the 2nd leading cause of death across the world. The prognosis for gastric cancer is poor because of their aggressive nature and the lack of detection. Next slide please. According to clinical advancements in the worldwide happened, there are three researchers in the first National Cancer Center in Japan. In Japan, it conducted an extensive research laboratory and on the pepsinogen first and the second, and according to their research, they mark for the early detection of the gastric cancer. Now, Chinese University of Hong Kong, it conducted research on the pepsinogen first and the gastrin 17 as screening tools for detection of the gastric cancer in the Chinese population. European Society of GIT and the Scopy Europe issued guidelines on the use of biomarkers as gastric juice for diagnosis and surveillance of gastric cancer. Next slide please. There are several clinical advancements. According to a study which held in the tertiary hospital in Korea, 200 patients with dyspepsia who underwent upper gastrointestinal endoscopy. Next slide. According to them, only 100 patients are diagnosed with gastric cancer and the remaining are as the control group. The levels of biochemical markers including pepsinogen first and second, interleukin-8, gastrin and the tumor necrosis factor alpha, that is TNF alpha, were measured using ELISA. The diagnostic and prognostic values of these markers were evaluated. What were the results? Results were shown here. It showed that the levels of pepsinogen first and the second were significantly lower in gastric cancer patients compared to controls. In contrast, the levels of gastrin, IL-8 and TNF-alpha were significantly higher in gastric cancer patients. Residual operating characteristic, that is ROC analysis, showed that the combination of pepsinogen first, second, gastrin, IL-8 had the highest diagnostic accuracy for gastric cancer with AUC of 0.92%. Furthermore, the levels of IL-8 and TNF-alpha were significantly associated with the gastric cancer and the advanced tumor stage and poor overall survival in the gastric cancer patients.
So now, after the results come, their major discussion has to be happened according to that. So the result of the study demonstrated that particular biochemical markers that are very clearly identifiable in presence of gastric cancer, that were IL-8 and TNF-alpha. This necrotic factor, the elevated level of pepsinogen and gastrin observed in the study participated are consistent with the previous researches on the subject and support the use of these markers as a reliable indicator for gastric ulcers and inflammations and cancer and many other diseases. Furthermore, the positive correlation between the presence of Helicobacter pylori and the risk of gastric cancer. Mind my words, there are chances that Helicobacter pylori is predominantly present in the patient which have gastric cancer. And that highlights the potential of this marker as a tool for early diagnosis. And it's very essential to diagnose that early, as the prognosis of cancer is very poor. It's less than 29%. And the patient usually die in gastric cancer. So it's very, very dangerous for a person. And for us to develop biochemical markers for early diagnosis of this cancer is very essential for saving the life of the patient. In conclusion, I want to say is that our study suggests that biochemical markers in the gastric juice can be useful, non-invasive. It's not invasive. We can use it by taking out, as I told you, nasogastric aspiration. Then we can analyze it. So it is non-invasive and it decreases the prognosis of gastric cancer. The level of pepsinogen 1, I2, gastrin, IL-8, TNF-alpha was significantly different between gastric cancer patient and controls. So controls were the patient that were taken along with gastric cancer patients so that they can measure the different values in the cancer patient and in the non-cancer patient for better analysis. Then the diagnosis, furthermore, IL-8 and TNF-alpha were associated with advanced tumor stage. So when these two, INF-8 and TNF-alpha, were found, stage of cancer was very advanced. So we need to make a proper system in which these can be diagnosed at very low amount of value so that the cancer can be diagnosed at pretty early stage for the better treatment of cancer. And that indicated the potential prognostic indicator. Now after this slide, there's a video that I'm going to play. It's from a cancer survivor who has a gastric cancer, and we got to know that there are only 29% chances that the person can survive that cancer. And that's a story of the person. So I'm going to just play that video. It's courtesy from the YouTube channel John Hopkins Medical Institute. She is a survivor from cancer patient, and she has her whole stomach got removed from her body as she has survived from cancer, and a small part of small intestine was made into her stomach. So cancer do take a toll on a person, and it's very harmful for a person. She has done many chemotherapies and all, and now she is at last cancer. So I know everyone must have the slides, so I'll just don't take your time. Thank you. So thank you, and thank my
Результатом электрофореза является электрофореграмма, это запись или диаграмма.
И для этого нам нужны определенные твердые носители. Это огородок, магнитные частицы, нитроцеллюлозная мембрана и мембрана из поливинилденфторида или ПВД сокращенно. И планшет из полистирола. У них у всех
Құрамында суретте анықтау әдістерін үйрете отырып, құрамының қасиеті бойынша салыстырып,
И доложили, это уже хорошо. Вы уже знаете, что вам интересно и куда двигаться. Okay. Today we heard about reports about referentive reports, not investigations, not your investigations. And it's not good, well, it's not bad. It's not bad because you should start from the references.
Жалпы бұл зерттеуде жедел алкогольдік және этанолдың интоксикациясын модельдеу кезінде бір топ эксперимент жасалды.
Вы молодцы. Давайте вперед, работать так же. Дальше. Я рада.
Hey guys! सो कॉन्फ्रेंस हमारी बहुत अच्छी गई.
बहुत अच्छी
एवरीवन
गई.
वाज इम्प्रेस्ड. हमारी जो मैम है वो प्रोफेसर है, उनसे भी एक जो प्रोफेसर बड़े हैं वो भी इम्प्रेस थे. एवरीवन वाज सो इम्प्रेस्ड, द प्रोफेसर, द टीचर्स.
और हमें सर्टिफिकेट मिला, सबने बैग में रख दिया. मैं आपको बाद में दिखाऊंगी.
कोई पोजीशन नहीं थी फर्स्ट सेकंड, जस्ट पार्टिसिपेट
Just
सर्टिफिकेट था,
participation,
पर बर्थ एक्सपीरियंस था, मजा आया एंड वी एंजॉयड.
अब हम जा रहे हैं क्योंकि बहुत भूख
और इसके बाद
लगी है.
फोटोज आ जाएंगी और मजा आया, वी एंजॉयड. सो और ऐसी वीडियोस देखने के लिए स्टे ट्यून्ड विद अस. डू लाइक, शेयर, सब्सक्राइब एंड फॉलो आवर चैनल.
Bye guys.
बाय गाइस.